We're going to make plays. We're going to play hard. We're going to do what we got to do. O-line, D-line, toughness, 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 toughness.
Hey, Buckeye Nation. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast, your only commercial-free Ohio State football podcast. These guys were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcast. Now, pour a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick.
It's time!
All right, let's do it. We are back. We are back. What is up? As always, please hit the show up on your favorite podcast app. You can find us everywhere and anywhere. Rate, review, subscribe, like the man said. Supply store, we still have free shipping, and I think we're going to have to extend our Facebook T-shirt giveaway. We need some more contestants, you might say. So we're going to extend that a few days, maybe a week. Who knows? We'll see how many people get in. I hate to just have a few handful of participants and have to choose from them. So we're going to look for.
They're loyalists. Hook them up.
Oh, we're going to hook everybody up. It's just a matter of how many people. So keep a lookout for the Facebook T-shirt giveaway. Remember, just go to Facebook, find the Buckeye Cast, and follow the instructions. You guys, got any bourbon to discuss tonight? Any of the Brown Party liquid?
Well, I opened up a bottle yesterday of Brothers Bonds. It's okay. There's just something different that I saw when I was shopping the other day. So tried it. Not bad. Nothing special. A little sweet. Kind of hints of sweet in it. Similar to Angel's Envy, I would say.
Okay.
But not a bad bourbon.
Where's that one from?
It's from Arkansas. Fort Smith. Bottled or distilled in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Oh. Arkansas.
Yeah, non-Kentucky.
Yeah. All right. I just had some Woodford rye a few minutes ago. It tastes just like Woodford, just with a little snap of rye. So if you like a rye, I would highly recommend it. You can probably find it at just about any liquor store.
I can get down on the rye, but only a couple snaps.
Oh, it's just one snap.
Oh, just one snap. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could go two.
Well, yeah. Depending on the weather. So, yeah, let's get into this Buckeye victory, 54-7 over Indiana. Really was not a ball game. I did not expect it to be a ball game. I know I listen to a lot of podcasts of national writers and talking heads, and a lot of people were recommending. I even know of the Late Kick show with Josh Pate. He was calling this his best bet, taking Indiana with the points. Gonna have to call you out.
Oh, really?
Call you out on that one, JP. Big problems, even with the rain. Not sure what he was looking at there. Realize you're a southern regional guy, but maybe don't venture outside your region if you don't know what you're talking about sometimes. I love Josh's show. I listen to every episode, but he's a little off sometimes when it comes to Big Ten discussions. So, well, let's go to Shawn. Shawn, what was your one big thing, one takeaway from the game?
Just, I would say I'm going to stick with the guy I had my microscope on, which is Travion. And, I mean, just every time that kid touches it, and I was sitting there watching it with my son, and I'm like, even though you think they got him, I'm like, oh, there's going to be a problem for them. Boom, that guy takes off, patience to the house. They use him so little, but it's every moment's a joy to watch. The first couple runs, I think he got shut down, but then obviously recovered and had himself a game.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff, what was your one big thing?
the most noticeable thing I kept noticing is just our offensive line blowing them off the ball.
Yeah.
Like, just pretty much after the first series back and forth. I mean, just complete domination at the last scrimmage, which made it look good for Evan Pryor, Trey, Mayan, everybody. They all look good. That offensive line.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And that fed right into the running game, which was obviously the focus of the first drive. Then we kind of loosened things up, right?
Yeah, I saw it's pretty much, whatever they were giving us, we were taking and just taking it to the fucking max.
Yeah.
They if they started to play soft in coverage, we just run it for 9 or 10. If they tried to come up on us, then we were hitting them. So I mean, we were hitting the passes that we wanted. I mean, it looked like we could do what we wanted when we wanted, and we just kind of coasted, play calling wise and stuff. We didn't even need to get real super aggressive with them because everything we were doing was working.
Yeah, my one big thing was really just an overarching comment about Indiana, and it's basically back to the kids' table. You guys are horrible. You're not even 500. I know that Penix is hurt and all that, but they have no depth behind him. Even Jack Tuttle, I know he's a little younger, but the other two guys are like high school quarterbacks, So Indiana, let's not get over our skis like we did last year and start loving ourselves. Back to the kids' table. Buckeyes jump out to the huge lead, 44-7 at the half once again. We basically end it. If I were Tom Allen, I would have gone to the refs and asked for a running clock in the second half. I would not have wanted to suffer well into the night. But CJ goes for 21 out of 28, 266 yards, 4 touchdowns. Even with the rain and the wet ball, yeah, it's acceptable. Even with the rain,
I couldn't believe what he was doing with that wet ball. I was wow.
Yeah, pinpoint.
I couldn't believe.
You almost didn't. Yeah, you didn't realize that it was raining that bad because it didn't. There was no appearance of an issue.
Yeah,
except when they were punting and trying to throw.
Yeah, it's like, why does the screen look like shit?
Right. And you get that one camera view and it shows the stadium lights. You're like, holy shit, it's downpour.
Exactly.
Because it great. I don't know what it was because Indiana showed showed the effects of it.
Right.
They with the muff punt and their quarterbacks all struggled with the ball. It looked like.
Yeah.
Very impressive to see that, to see it not be an issue.
Yeah. So, and also nice to get CJ, let him get in there, get his numbers, have a nice day, show his confidence, and then get him out, in the third quarter and get Kyle and Jack into the game for some snaps. Very important to get those depth guys some action. Let's go back to Travion real quick. Shawn's discussion there, just 9 rushes and was basically held out of the second half once again. I don't know if they're afraid that he's going to hit the freshman wall or what. But, Shawn, what do you think? 9 rushes, 81 yards. That's a fair average. And then tack on the catch.
I was first couple runs, only got a couple yards. And I'm like, every time he touches the ball, his average per carry is coming down a yard. Because it's insane right now. And then, nope, he ends up with 9 carries and bam, basically nuts his average.
Exactly.
Went out there and
exactly.
Yeah, it goes for 3 touchdowns, 1 on the reception. So that was nice. As usual, throwing.
And all impressive.
Yeah.
You watch that kid play. Damn.
I tell you, there was a play for him, and Mayan also had a similar play where they got hit like by a linebacker on the hip or in the quad, and got their legs almost knocked out from under him, but regained their composure and then went for a big gainer.
That center of gravity.
Amazing.
There's basic drills that they do every day of fall camp to work on that, getting hit from the side and putting the one arm down with the ball on your outside arm, to keep connected balance. But yeah, it's just dynamic athletes. You have to. The running backs are the best ones at doing that.
Mayan goes 8 rushes for 60 and a touchdown. He looks strong. Good to have him back in the fold. With sounds like unfortunately Crowley's going to be out for the year once again.
Really?
Yeah. So it's going to be a 3-man room with Teague. I don't know why Teague was out. They didn't say, but we're going to need some depth.
That sucks for that kid. I mean, because every time I see Marcus Crowley run, he looks like he belongs on the field.
Yeah, he does. He
never, we might have 3 running backs that are better, but I think he could. He's a 1,300 yard rusher for Ohio State right now. I think, minus the injury, of course, but even he could run for 1,000. He just looks good. He runs hard. He plays special teams. That's just you hate to see that. In those kids.
Yeah. He
was a dog. He was coming out of high school. He was what the state of Florida leading rusher, I believe.
No, he was Gatorade Player of the Year, his senior year.
Player of the Year. Okay.
What's that, Shawn?
It was. That sucks for Crowley, but it was good to see. Evan Pryor getting a lot of carries. I mean, he led the team.
He looks strong too for being a little underweight.
Yeah, he's a little guy. He's a little slight, but we could see Evan Pryor next year. Come into fall camp at 205, 210.
Yeah.
Going through a whole another year with Nick and the winter and stuff. He could come around, and if he looks full size. Now, some of his pass protection was shady there, but he also made a great blitz pickup. I think when McCord was in the game.
Mm.
So, the inconsistency I saw, he got blasted into CJ one time, but then later in the game, he came in, he stuck the dude. So.
Yeah, you need consistency there, man, in the pass pro.
Yeah, exactly. But every guy we've had touch the ball this year in the backfield has looked great.
Mm.
Like any of them probably could be the main guy. But we just happen to have some really special ones.
Yeah.
Fortunate that way.
Right. So, looking at all the pass catchers, tight ends, receivers, Ruckert, big day. Told you it was the year of the tight end, guys. You guys wouldn't listen. 5 catches, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had one called back on that Matthew Jones downfield bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
That was.
They never call that shit.
That's a product of the college game and that RPO.
Right.
He was looking for somebody to block. He was about 6 yards downfield, but he wasn't like, he was just like looking like out in no man's land, like, oh shit, my guy left me. Now I'm all the way down.
Yeah, he wasn't running a 5-yard curl like he's a tight end.
Or engaging the safety, while the safety's trying to coverage and nothing like that. It's a product of that RPO because Stroud's, he saw him shift in the pocket and he was moving up towards the line.
He was at it.
So your lineman's,
he thought he was taking off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can't really get on the guard for that.
I don't either.
No.
Like, hey, man, that's.
And maybe if Indiana was a little better, he'd have somebody to block. I mean,
there you go.
It's Indiana's fault.
Hey, don't play so hard, kid. But he's going downfield thinking Stroud's going to take off, and
sure,
all right, I'm leaving for you.
He's like, I'm the only one out here. Follow me, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no one else here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a bullshit call, but it's the rule, I guess. Because if you don't call that rule, then they're gonna certain teams can abuse it, and you can really, yes. I mean, you can really, attack a defense unfairly if you're deceiving between running and pass like that. So I get why the rule, but
yeah. So Ruckert, big day.
Keeping the tight ends happy was big. Yeah, keeping the tight ends happy.
Kate Stover even chipped in. Jackson Smith and Jake Bill almost got 100 yards. Tell you what, quiet but successful season for JSN, in my opinion. you don't hear a lot about him because you got Olave and Wilson, grabbing most of the headlines and making some of the splash plays. But over the middle of the field, JSN is just fucking money. Man.
He is. He's been money all year. I think he actually overtook Olave for second in yardage on the team this week. He's putting in work.
Yeah. Some of the other guys I was impressed with later in the game when the second teamers got in there, Egbuka and Harrison Jr. First of all, Martin Harrison Jr. gets the safety on a sack when Ding Dong couldn't catch a fucking ball, the punter.
Right.
Unfortunate for him, but Egbuka and Harrison, they both had a couple catches, and their yards after catch was really impressive. They were putting on a show out there. They weren't just going down, Harrison had to spin move and juked a couple guys, gained like 5 or 6 more yards over there on the sidelines. Egbuka, he's just going to run through dudes. It was nice. I was enjoying the show because a lot of times, in second teamers, they're just trying to make a catch and get down. That stand out to you guys at all?
Well, what stood out to me is obviously those two, and I got the total man crush on Egbuka, who also had a nice return again. But
I believe I had that.
I saw him on the sideline, but didn't see any Fleming. And I kind of checked out there towards the end. Did he get in? Did he get any snaps?
No.
I know he's not on the. He didn't get any catches.
No.
What's going on with him?
A lot of people have been talking about that since last night. They're, a lot of Buckeye fans are saying that, is he a transfer candidate or is that a possibility? And no, he's had a hamstring injury, so he's been injured for the last few weeks. So on that slick field with the rain and the turf, they probably held him out for injury's sake. But think about this. You got Penn State coming into Columbus, and he's from Pennsylvania. I would look for maybe a Fleming sighting.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was a portal thing at this point in time. I guess not that it couldn't become one, but no. The one shot that I saw of him was he was over there on the sideline after somebody's touchdown and yucking it up.
I saw it, Shawn.
Part of the group.
Yep.
He didn't look estranged from him, like he was part of it, and I was just wondering what was going on with him.
Yeah, I think it's the hamstring. I mean, he's one of those 5 stars that maybe catches the injury bug and just can't shake it. Whether it was the shoulder last year where he basically couldn't raise his arm above his head, and now this year he's dealing with this hammy. It's unfortunate. You hate to see it, but I don't think that transfer is in his future. I would be more concerned about injuries ending his career first.
I mean, basically, last year was a freebie. This one's his freshman year. He could redshirt. He could come back next year and be a freshman again, I think.
Yeah, he could have, 5 years at least. So he's
right. I mean, this might be one of those 5-star receivers that we see, for at least 4 years out of. So maybe we get a 21-year-old Julian Fleming who's finally healthy and finally able to be a number 1, 2, or 3 receiver in our offense.
Well,
so we might
next year,
it might be a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean?
Next year he's definitely going to get the reps.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it may be a blessing in disguise where he's number 1 receiver in the country, 5-star, but just battled injuries, and finally got to kind of like a Johnny Dixon.
Exactly.
Finally, when he got to his senior year, he was one of the starting 3 and a major contributor, catching touchdowns and doing his thing. So it may be a blessing. It may help the spacing in the the grouping of what we have with our freshman receivers.
Yeah,
the injury may put him on a better trajectory to get more playing time later. Than
Dixon was injured for like 3 years. He was a 5-year guy.
Major ACLs first and second year, and then I think maybe towards third ACL maybe.
So, all right. On the defensive side of the ball, I want to wish a RIP, thoughts and prayers to Jack Tuttle and the rest of that Indiana QB room. Hope you guys can bounce back and maybe not sack yourselves when it rains a little bit. I don't know. You guys were pathetic. That was
Gutless.
a sad display. So, yeah.
That offensive line was gutless.
I'd kind of take my hat off to Jack Tuttle. He drove down there and scored first drive and got hurt. Came back in, whatever, for a minute, dinged up. But I thought that kid played tough. I mean, I think they're going to be all right with Jack Tuttle.
Yeah.
I don't think that offensive line is going to allow him to be anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to help them at all because of that O line. Now granted, I think our defensive line is one of the best in the country, but holy shit, I think we had 7 sacks or maybe 9 by 9 different guys.
I got 5, but I also have 16 players with TFLs.
Okay.
So it depends on what you categorize.
Some of those, like, he brought the ball down and was like,
trying to take off.
I think that kind of, is it a sack or is it a,
Okay, yeah. So my number might be off, but yes, we have the right total number.
Yeah, a lot of dudes were in the backfield.
Yeah, a lot of dudes hanging out on the other side of the fence. Yeah. But that Indiana O-line, they porous. Good God. I don't care who they got at quarterback. Tuttle's not going to be able to look competent because of that O-line, I think.
No, nobody could. Who could? I mean,
no.
You couldn't put Tom Brady back there. I have sacks. Depends on what site you go to, really, and who's choosy with their stats. So I got JT getting his first sack, Jack Sawyer, Ty Hamilton, Tyreek, welcome back, and Haskell got one.
Tyreek Williams got one.
Tyreek did?
I thought Mike Hall got one. No?
I got TFLs for those guys.
John Cage, I think, got one.
Maybe they gave him a TFL.
I don't know. Maybe they are. So I'm just, when I'm watching it in the game, I'm like, oh, another sack. Yeah. But yeah, he may have gotten across the line of scrimmage and then, or whatever.
So let's go to Shawn. Shawn, if you had to give a guy a trophy right now, who's your defensive MVP for this game?
Oh gosh, I would probably just say the D line for getting there, but I went with Sawyer, who showed up late. Everybody I thought was wreaking havoc early on the line, and I was like, man, I highlighted Sawyer last week because I thought somebody'd go off, and he actually ended up having a decent game.
You might have killed one of those
late contributor. He was late contributor, but defensive MVP. I don't know, man. I never thought about it. It was just, I don't know. It was just such a total team domination. What was their total yards?
Indiana's total yards.
134.
Yeah.
I think I'll say 134.
It was under $150 total.
Yeah.
128 is what I got, but
and 75 on the first drive, and another 50, another 60 the rest of the game after the first drive.
Yeah, he got fucking crushed on that touchdown pass too.
Yeah, he did. I think Zach Harrison looked like a impactful edge rusher this game. Not get. It's kind of the same as last year, but it's like he was beating his guy consistently. Mm-hmm. Getting in the backfield, just not able to do much after the disruption of the route. But our coverage was good. Our rush was good. So they both help each other get better. That's why it looked more like just total defense, because we had everybody covered and we were getting pressure.
Yeah.
So there was really nothing. I'm watching the game right now. They're just chucking the ball out of bounds left and right. Just nothing.
And that's when they're not falling down. Yeah, I got Zach Harrison for my defensive MVP. Who do you got, Jeff?
I'll still go with Ronnie Hickman.
Okay.
I notice Ronnie Hickman all the time on the field. He's always around. The whole D line. Everybody on the D line looked great. But if I went and buried in stats, I think Ronnie Hickman would just have his nose and everything. Mm-hmm. He seems impactful to me, whether he's even making plays or not. He seems like he's impacting the game the most.
Well, since I had our score predictions at 52-14, I'm going to go ahead and take the dub on that one, boys. Shawn,
where was mine again?
Shawn had 41-17. Jeff, you had 42-20. I had 52-14.
Well, I think I'd have been a lot closer if Tuttle didn't go down. That was.
And I was expecting Stroud to throw 3 pick sixes.
That's aggressive. So, yeah, I'll take another one. I've been doing pretty well. So, anytime you guys want to jump on my coattails, you're more than welcome to ride along.
Well, honestly, I thought Freifogel would have a game. I honestly did. I honestly thought we might be looking at a 9-catch for 180 and a touchdown.
Shawn Wade's in the NFL now, so.
I was pretty confident going into that game with Shawn Wade. But Cam Brown played him tough. He let him get behind him once that they missed him on. But I thought Denzel and Cam both held up pretty good.
He may have gotten open more often, but we just couldn't see it because the quarterback was tripping over himself or getting laid out.
That's it too. I mean, that can a great pass rush can mask a shady defense at backfield. I mean, so much just because you just got to look like you're close to him, and then just for that split second for the quarterback to hold it, and if your rush gets there, then you're safe.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this Penn State game. Kind of a letdown since they shit the bed at home last week. Fucking pathetic.
They had one job.
Yeah.
Just one job.
So
not go to 9 overtimes with Illinois. Just don't go to 9 overtimes.
You could still do that, but you got to come away with a dub. It looks bad. Now it looks 100 times worse when you lose to Brandon fucking Peters. Anyways, we'll get into that later.
Sidebar, real quick, Joe, on the overtime rule. Just one thing I'm going to say. Can we not name when we just go one play and alternate one play? It doesn't need to be a whole nother overtime. Can we just make all that one overtime? Because we don't need to.
It sounds cooler.
9 overtimes. It's ridiculous. We were almost in double-digit overtimes because we're doing one play back and forth. I don't mind the rule. Right. Let's just not name it another quarter every time we run a play. Yeah. That seems a little much.
You should call it penalty shots or something like that.
Yeah, PKs or something.
Yeah, so we got Penn State coming into town. So to celebrate, we are going to wear our new uniforms, the scarlet out, to honor Rutgers. I don't get the connection, but Rutgers unis look pretty sweet on us, I guess. So scarlet out, the shoe, 7:30 on ABC. I'm not a fan of these uniforms, but apparently the kids like them. So whatever you want. You got James Franklin coming in. You guys got an opinion on the unis, or are you just going to be quiet?
Oh, well, you can shut up. I don't mind them. I don't mind the reds, the menstrual reds. Let's go, man.
I like it.
Like you said, the kids like them. Let's go. Let's do something. If we lose with them, you burn them. And you never wear those again. That's my feeling on any weird, out of the ordinary uniforms.
But just because
you look like shit in them, you burn them.
Just because you win with them, though, doesn't mean you should keep them either.
No, I think they're a nice thing to do once or twice a year. Something a little different. Like you said, the kids like it.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff? You like the menstrual reds?
I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that term. That just kind of cringes me in my back right there. No menstrual reds. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, but wear the red pants once a year. That's fine. But yes, if we lose in them, burn them, never see them again. Just even the red pants. Let's just include some gray in the jersey. That way, there you can put the gray, the gray stripes down with the scarlet. We're all red, but with just a little bit of gray in it, I think they'll look fine. Way better than just the red and black that we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent. I really just want to see. I want to see gray back in the jerseys, in the home jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, you could go a lot of different directions. I think this is the worst direction. I think it just looks like Rutgers home uniforms. So, anyway, my point is, if you're going to go all scarlet, what about scarlet helmets too, instead of silver?
Yeah, I would go with like a metallic, not the metallic red helmet, and then with the leaves on it. I think with the leaves on it, and everything, it'll look cool. Do the same stripe we got down the middle. Why not? I'm in favor of that. If you're gonna go like an all red color blitz thing or whatever the fuck, make the helmet too. Change the helmet with it.
Yeah.
I can go with that, but I would go with the matte over the metallic, whatever. That's just me.
Okay. What about what's that? You're talking about like a chrome almost, Jeff? A red chrome kind of super shiny?
Yeah, chrome.
Okay. That sounds terrible. So anyways, Penn State's coming in. James Franklin in his 8th year. 5-2 overall. 2-2 in the Big Ten, though. Seems to be a bit of a problem for James. Like we talked about, just took the L in 9 overtimes, or as Jeff would like to call it, 1 overtime. 20-18. The scoring is really weird too, because they're considered 2-point conversions. So let's work on that. Maybe you want to back it up away from the 3-yard line so that people have more space to work with. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into the overtime rules some other day. So, anyways, Penn State not looking awesome. Who else did they lose to this year? Iowa? Yeah, that's right. They went out to the Corn and took a beating against a.
They would have won that. They would have won that game if Clifford didn't go down.
Clifford, yeah.
They were
even with his 2 picks, I know.
I think they would have. Honestly, I hate to say that. Well, they would have won if their quarterback wouldn't get injured, because that's not always the case. But especially looking at how Iowa, kind of shaped out since that game. Yeah, Iowa isn't invincible. I think Clifford probably would have hung on.
Well,
Clifford looks healthy, so I would expect him to play against us.
I don't know if he's 100% healthy. He could not throw the ball over 15 yards. I didn't see any deep balls to Dotson last week, but
that's their only chance. I'm sorry. Maybe I misspoke then, because that's their only shot.
The issue when you say they shouldn't lose a game just because their quarterback goes down is if they have another option. But they have no fucking running game, man. These guys have no other options. And if you got a backward...
Why do they not have a running game? They've got all those running games.
Their O-line's horrible.
Yeah, I'm saying they have stud running games.
I know. Noah Cain was a 5-star, well aware. But their O-line is terrible. I mean, they don't pass block well. They don't run block well. Noah Cain only has 245 yards on the year on 78 rushes. That's a 3.1 yards per carry.
That's a goddamn shame.
4 touchdowns.
That is a shame.
We're in week 8 or 9, whatever.
We just completed week 7, right?
We completed week 8.
That week 8
with the bye.
We just completed 8.
So, Penn State, man. I don't know. They can't put it all together. Seemingly, whether it's quarterback sucks or running game sucks, O-line sucks. They can never put all the parts together at the right time. So their offense is only putting up 26 points a game, 370 yards a game, And rushing, like I mentioned, 118 yards rushing per game. That's pathetic. Especially in the Big Ten. What are you going to do in November, dude?
Yeah, but they've already went through November, frankly. Okay, so listen to this. They were at Wisconsin. They were at Iowa. They played Auburn. They've already played some of the toughest rushing Ds that they're going to play.
Sure.
I mean, those playing at Wisconsin and at Iowa, that's not fun to run there.
No.
And so the numbers, like everybody's numbers, are usually skewed a little bit higher. Penn State's had a hell of a schedule. I think they're skewed a little bit lower.
Well, they beat the hell out of Indiana 24-0, and Indiana's one of the better defenses in the country. And now they got us this week, Maryland, then Michigan, then Rutgers, then Michigan State. It's not going to get better.
Well, and they're probably, but Penn State's probably looking at us on film like, I think we can get these guys on the ground. I think they're probably not looking at our run defense as Wisconsin's, Iowa's that they've already gone against. So that's going to be on us to prove, to show up and prevent it. It looks like they're probably going to run heavy as fuck. Control the clock, take our offense off the field. Ball control. I believe. I could see that.
They're going to need a little more than 118 yards a game average. So they got 9 returning starters. Clifford, we mentioned. He's only got 1,600 yards on the year. That's like a 7.8 average, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks, but he's been sacked 11 times. That seems excessive for a guy I thought was mobile-ish, mobile-like. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where their issues are coming in there, but at this point, I don't know if they're. They can go one of two ways. They can kind of give up. Their season's done. They just toasted it with the 9-0 overtimes. But, do they fold up shop? Franklin, to me, has a decent record of hanging in there and trying to be competitive. But like you said, he's played some tough games this year. Came out hot beating Auburn and Wisconsin, but he's still got a murderer's row in front of him. And does this team just kind of mail it in? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how these guys come out. I think they can give us a game of hold. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that close either way, but it could get real ugly, one of those 63-3 type of games if they're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they got basically 2 running backs that are almost equal in total yards. Noah Kane, like I mentioned, has 245 on the year, but Kevon Lee has 228 only on 45 rushes, so his average is a nice 5.1, but hasn't gotten in the end zone yet. So maybe you guys got a point, but I guess it really, like I said about the O-line, it's got to come back to that. If they can move people off the ball and give these guys some space, maybe you can ball control this. And wide receivers, obviously, you got Dotson. He's a stud. He's got almost 50 catches already, 560 yards, 6 touchdowns. Sure. And you got that Parker Washington on the other side, 32 catches, a couple touchdowns. So they do have options. I just don't know how reliable any of them are outside of Dotson. Tight end has been non-existent for them. They don't really have that gangly 6'6" white guy this year.
What do you mean? Not for the first time in the last 20. They've been pumping those dudes in the NFL.
I know they've been pumping them, Jeff, but they're not pumping them this year.
All right, I got you.
We'll see. Maybe they're waiting for Ohio State to pump it.
I just think that Franklin's the way he's the recruit of their defense. I think he just wants that old. It's like the old NFL style. We're going to play good defense. We're going to run the ball. We're going to control the clock. That whole adage. Like it just seems like that's got to. And when we'll hit the play action, we'll try to get our guys down the field when we can on some play action. But they're going to try to eat the clock, possess the ball, and kind of go methodical on us.
Yeah.
Because they probably think they can do it, and take advantage of our young, maybe our inexperience or whatever on defense. that's got to be their only thought. They can't say, let's just trade with them, because they know better than to try that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
they're not
do that right now.
Yeah. They're going to try to stop the run.
I think they're going to try and find that tight end. Because if you look at where they had success, the only thing that was even a modicum of success for Indiana was Hendershot, tight end. Yeah. Relief valve, get rid of it quick. We still got so many linebackers playing, they probably don't even know whose job it is to cover him. And then maybe they say, Ronnie, you just make sure he's covered. I don't know, but to me, that was the only thing soft in our defense, maybe a little bit, was covering up the tight end. And I think going forward, teams will try to exploit that, and hopefully we address it. Yeah. But again, who do they got? I'm with Jeff. This game goes as Dotson goes. If Dotson goes off, they can be in it for a little while. I still think it'll get away from him, even if he does have a decent game.
But like I said, I don't think Clifford can throw it over 15 or 20 yards. He's not, remember against Wisconsin, he was just chucking deep balls, and hoping Dotson came down with it. That's not happening this week.
But the thing is, Dotson does come down with it. And Noah King's still a little bit scary, because I know he hasn't done much yet, but we all know that the talent's there. And he could have a coming out party, and they do some different things and whatnot, and that guy goes off. So I think you focus on shutting that run down, and hopefully we get some pressure on Clifford there, and you hold Dotson within check. I don't know who will be on him if they move people around. I didn't pay close enough attention. Did we shadow Freifogel with anybody? Or was it just where he lines up, that's how it's going?
I saw just about every time I looked for Freifogel, I saw Cam Brown.
Yeah.
Just about every time. I think I saw Denzel on him once, but I didn't notice anybody else covering him. And usually I was looking for three, come out of the huddle, I'm like, all right, where's he going?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Penn State's defense, they're only giving up 14 points a game on average, 324 yards per game. 178 passing, 146 rushing. They got 7 returning starters. These guys, they have a lot of studs.
They're legit.
Oh, yeah, their defense is.
Yeah.
But Illinois fucking ran all over them. They just folded them up. 357 yards rushing. Wow.
Oh.
Tell me Illinois' running backs.
Bielema. Oh. Fucking 357.
Yep.
Fucking Burt. And Burt is put on 100 pounds.
He's looking svelte. What are you talking about?
Oh, I love it.
He looks like $1 million. He's got the hair.
I love his game day ritual. He must have one of those things. He doesn't shower before games, does he?
No.
He's the size of $1 million if you did it with singles. He's the size of $1 million.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he takes a shower before they leave town the day before.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's just...
He's a shower-phobic guy.
And this week, earlier this week, he dogged the fuck out of his whole entire offensive line in the program.
Yeah.
Everyone in the program. None of them have done shit, he said. And they came out for 357 on the ground. Now he looks like a genius.
I got to tell you, I'm starting to like me some Burt, man.
Oh, yeah. I think he's great for the
just for how nasty.
Big Ten, but
perfect.
Everybody hates him. Everybody loves him.
I can't believe that he tried to go back to his team and tell them they took it out of context. Dude, here's the fucking word for word what you said.
Yeah, we saw the video, Coach. The question and then you answering it in real time. But,
so, we know most of these guys on defense for Penn State. You got Ellis Brooks, Brandon Smith. These guys are the team leaders in tackles. This Ibikiti guy, I don't know anything about this guy, but he's leading the team in sacks with 5.5. Arnold Ibikiti.
Who's number 14? I think. I don't know. I think it's 14 as a linebacker.
And you got Joey Porter, of course, the corner. Jesse Lucchetta's still there, the linebacker. Not a lot has changed. What's going on with PJ Mustapher? I haven't seen anything about him. I know he's on the roster, but I wonder if he got hurt or something. I haven't heard or seen.
I thought he did get hurt.
That's a problem for them.
Yeah, a week or two ago.
Okay.
I thought he got hurt.
Let's see. This says active. He played against Indiana. Didn't play against Illinois, apparently. He had 6 tackles against Indiana.
I think that must have been the game he got hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. So, defensively, I mean, we know these names and we've seen them before. So, really, it's a matter of, I guess, establishing the run, kind of like they want to do, right? And if that doesn't work out for us, then we just hit them over the top with the mid-range and crossing and occasional deep balls, right? That's how I see it.
Right now, I don't see. I don't know. I don't see anybody stopping Ohio State. I think our O-line is playing so good. If you can get some pressure on Stroud, maybe he's been well protected all year. But I mean, I don't know what the weakness is right now, and it's kind of pick your poison. Yeah, you can load the box, and we'll tear you apart with Rucker or 3 All-American wide receivers, or Henderson out of the backfield.
Right.
I mean, you hate to be a D coordinator facing the Buckeyes right now, the way it's humming.
Yeah. Speaking of humming, Ohio State. Here, let me throw some stats at you. Ohio State leading all of Power Fives in yards per play by 1 yard. That's a substantial difference. Yards per play. In the Big Ten, Buckeyes are averaging 49 points a game. Second to the Buckeyes is Michigan at 37. 49 to 37. And then Sparty is in third with 34. And like I mentioned earlier, Penn State is down there with their lowly 26 points a game.
All of those stats that you just said, Joe, all what I would have said, I would have picked us to be at those numbers and to be that different from first to second in all those categories, just not those teams that are second, third, and fourth.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see that coming, especially out of Michigan State, I would assume.
I'm a little surprised at Michigan. I mean, I don't think they still really know how to throw a football. They're surprisingly scoring, but I mean, that was a ball game they were in. Anyway, ran away with it, and that was a ball game.
Yeah, right.
And with Sparty, you never think about a team going in and grabbing 17 dudes out the portal and completely transforming their team around. I mean, like, Mel Tucker just kind of showed, well, this is what you can do. You can be a fucking laughingstock and bottom of your conference to halfway through the season, top 10 ranking in one season. I mean, it's that quick of a turnaround. Now, will that, Shawn, and you can give us a little more info about this than what we can probably share with you, but is that going to get Mel Tucker out of town on a upper level job, SEC maybe?
I think
he's got a lot of ties down south.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are saying there's some, LSU would like to get that. Sparty fans are, completely freaked out about it, that Mel could leave. But Mel,
they had a coach leave one time for LSU, didn't they?
Right.
I heard that once.
Yeah, they did.
It worked out last time, too.
I said they'll probably go to LSU, win a natty, get the Bama job when Saban leaves that, and win about a handful more.
Yeah.
But,
have a statue with a hand.
What Mel did. It is so unique with all the portal stuff that he did, and then which is unique in and of itself that the portal is there and you can do this. But now that the NIL is here too, talk about some serious free agency.
Yeah.
Hey, you come to Sparty, so and so down the street's going to give you $50,000 on a contract. I mean, this could get really weird with this portal thing and teams going from, like you said, from zero to hero in a year. Just bringing in a bunch of dudes. I don't know how, I think it takes a special talent to keep your locker room if you're going to bring in that many new faces.
Sure.
But,
yeah. Right.
But
you got to bring in some of those. A lot of those guys have to be impact guys too. Like if there are a few of those dudes that you're bringing in are immediate day one leaders of the locker room. And it's gonna happen probably to maybe a handful of teams a year that you see this big blow up. From one year to the next, they hit the portal really hard, and then it works. But there's probably a lot of teams that are going to try this. This bring in 12 to 20 guys out of the portal, try to redo your roster, and it's going to backfire.
Right.
Those teams like I'm picturing teams like maybe like a Tennessee or somebody that they'll just stay in negativity.
Not Clemson.
The rest of the Clemson might be a different animal.
Yeah. So let's finish up on this Penn State game before we get too out of left field here.
Yep.
So let's get into our microscopes. Shawn, who do you have on offense?
I'm going off the wall here. You guys talked me into it on the first segment. Julian Fleming's going home. Had nothing this week. I'm expecting to see a Julian Fleming sighting.
Nice. I like it.
Out there with the reception this week.
A little appetizer to keep him happy.
I think so. He looked pumped up, ready to go there on the sideline. I'm hoping there's nothing wrong with him. And yeah, I'd love to see him out there and doing some damage to the team we almost lost him to.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff? Who do you have on offense there?
All right, you want to go deep? I'm gonna go watching James Franklin watch Kyle McCord throw the final touchdown of the game to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh.
And James Franklin's gonna look at that scoreboard, and it's gonna be maybe a 40-some point difference, and he's like, all these fucking guys. He just saw Julian Fleming have the game of his life. He just saw McCord hit Harrison
twisting
Jr.
the knife, huh?
To twist the knife and just say, I gotta go out west. I gotta go to Cali and see if I can just handle shit out there. And then off to USC, he starts California dreaming.
He's coached in the SEC, so let's not leave that out of the equation.
Why would you not go to LA and get the fuck away from what you have dealing with you next Saturday night?
I don't know.
Go to Cali. What are you doing? Hey, all these quarterbacks that are running college football right now, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, they're all in your backyard if you go out there. It's a lot easier to keep them when they're hometown guys. They're all L.A. kids.
Right.
So go to L.A. and get one of these for yourself.
I'm going
and dominate the West Coast.
I'm going Garrett Wilson. I think
he needs to get
Penn State might be a little stingy on the ground, like we talked about, but I think Wilson is the go-to guy, makes all the catches, whether it's over the middle in traffic, down the field, whatever it might be. I think he's going to be called upon to be super productive this week, and that's my guy. Let's go back to Shawn for some defense. Who do you have on defense?
Kind of just came up with this one as well, based on my reconnaissance of Jeff's game watching ability. So I'm going with Cam Brown. If they're going to put Cam Brown over Dotson most of the game, then that's going to be the key to that defense, as far as I'm concerned. And if Brown can handle him, keep him to under 100 yards, no scores, we're going to win this going away. And if he shuts him down, it's going to be a blowout.
Okay.
And I think Cam Brown tore his Achilles against Penn State, and I believe he was covering Dotson on the play.
Maybe.
Yeah. It may be a little extra motivation this week with Cam Brown.
All right, Jeff, who do you have on defense?
I was kind of thinking about Cam Brown, actually, Shawn. Kind of on the same wavelength there, because you're right. Dotson showed us last year that he's legit, and I like that other guy on the other side too. Defensive backfield we're gonna have to cover great. I want to go Lathan Ransom. He flashed on this hit in this game late in the third quarter, and it just made me remember, like, this dude is a fucking missile. So I want to see Lathan Ransom, outshine, make some impact plays, maybe getting that tight end in the slot. I like what they're doing. I saw a couple plays this week where they're bringing the bullet down in the box, like as an interior lineman, and then having him drop out for coverage. So I want to see Lathan Ransom make some impact plays, get his name out there a little bit.
Yeah,
the kid is a missile flying around. Him and Hickman, I think we got some good ones there.
I'm going to go Cody Simon. I think Penn State, like we talked about, is going to try and run the ball. And since the big guys down in the middle are hard to see, it's hard to make out, who's doing what down there. I'm gonna rely on my middle linebacker to clean up and fill those run fits and hopefully shut them down. I mean, this should not be a huge undertaking, according to Penn State's history here this season. So I think it shouldn't be a problem.
What? An early spread right now, what's it, 16?
17 and a half. It's up to. It's growing.
7?
Yeah. While you're talking spreads, Jeff, what do you have for your final score? 17 and a half. Over under is 59 and a half. And this spread started at 15 earlier today.
Okay. That's okay. I saw it earlier today then, but it's already moving on a Sunday. It's already moving.
Sure. Wow. I already grabbed 17 earlier.
Let's see. Let's go. Do we hit 50 again? I think we end up with 49. So I'm gonna go 49-17.
Okay. Sounds good. Shawn, what do you have?
That'll give me the over and the cover.
Yep, definitely,
I believe.
Easily.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. I was just a week early. I'm going with last week's score, 41-17.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a week early. I got you.
You guys are expecting some points out of Penn State. You don't have any faith in this Buckeye D, like I do.
Is that how you work? Is that how you take 49-14?
You had 17.
17. Well, 17 is under our average. So I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I think Penn State's still a good team. I don't think.
Agreed.
Okay.
I think they. Okay.
I'm going. I haven't really thought about this until now. Let's go tight one in the shoe. I'm going 37-10. They hold us under 40 with that defense, but their offense can't move the ball. Maybe they score on our second team defense. So easy dub. Probably going to be a tighter first half than we've had the last few weeks. So we don't put up 44 in the first half. Maybe 24 at best. But 37-10. Book it under, but the cover. So let's get into these Week 8 games that just happened. I mean, going into last week, everybody was saying, "Oh, this is going to be a boring week, boring slate of games." Yeah, it looked like shit on paper, but that's why they play the games, right? Let's dig back in quickly to the Illinois at Penn State game. 9 overtimes, or if you're going by Jeff's math, 1 overtime that made up of 9 or 10 plays, whatever it was. We mentioned Illinois goes for 357 on the ground, and they didn't do much through the air. So Penn State only put up 227 total offense, 227, 62 on the ground against Illinois. You guys have any thoughts on this game?
Just that Penn State blew it. They should be a top, a top 10 team coming to Ohio State, and they laid down. They've got, I don't know.
My real issue is with ESPN/ABC on the video quality. That fucking game looked like it was played in 1992. It was terrible. You guys see that shit? Even the replays were all like gray and like weird. It was very, very bad. I don't know.
I did not. I was at a girls' soccer game, and I'm like, is that a typo? 9 OTs? What the hell does that mean?
Jeff, any thoughts?
Yeah, I started watching that game. About right at the end of the fourth when it was starting overtime. I did notice that the TV, that it did look like shit, but I was like, I was just shaking my head. Like, Penn State, are you fucking kidding me? You had one job. Just get past Illinois, make it a top 10 matchup. It's good for you, for us, for the Big Ten in general. Everybody fucking wins. Just do your job. And they can't. They can't make it. They can't make it nice. So now they deserve a fucking beatdown. It was. I mean, I was surprised that Illinois was able to run as much. And I didn't even pay attention. It was 357. Jesus. But I didn't. I can't name you an Illinois player besides Brandon Peters. Only him because he's 28 years old.
I mean, if you were getting the rock pounded that much, I mean, those guys got to be a little bit wore down, and I'd like to see a heavy dose of running again.
Yeah,
early and often for the Buckeyes.
We'll see who's in our rotation this week. Mayan looks like came out of the game pretty healthy. We know Trey looks real healthy. So maybe we'll see what's going on with Teague, but. Yeah, let's run the ball 40 times for 300 yards against them.
Yeah,
and then we can hit Garrett Wilson for a couple touchdowns because he needs to get in the end zone too. He's been doing a lot of work the last couple games, but we scored 54 points and he didn't even make the end zone. So, but yeah, I think we can. I think we do what we want with him. I think we run when we want and then set up whatever passing we want.
So Cincy and Navy, 1-score win by Cincy. Took an interception late in the game. Navy recovered a nice onside kick, and Cincy a couple plays later was able to get a pick to squash that one. But that was a tight one. But maybe you give Cincinnati a little pass on playing Navy, and that's always a tough out.
Yeah, it is, but Navy's not what Navy's been in the past. Navy in the past was like a 8-9 win team, which they could play that would scare. We would struggle with them. They would put 300 yards rushing on Florida State or somebody. But Navy's in a down year too, which kind of. But you're right. It may just be as simple as just refocusing and trying to study and play against that kind of offense that you never see. Army's actually looking a lot better team than Navy this year. But a lot of teams play hard against. A lot of teams have struggles with Navy. It seems year in and year out. So I don't know. I didn't see much of the game, but Cincinnati needs to look impressive, or they're going to start dropping. They got to start winning impressive every week.
To me, 0 quality points for them this week.
Sure, 0, yeah.
A 1-5 Navy is not impressive to win by a touchdown, and that's the only thing that's going to keep them in the playoffs. And I'll be interested after next week is when the first playoff things will be out. I don't think you'll have Cincinnati at number 2 I don't think Cincinnati would fare that well against an Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, which I consider to be the top tier of teams. I just don't. But, you can't take away from what they've done so far. But if you start eking wins out like Oklahoma, people can notice that shit. And it can happen here and there, but you better not make a habit of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The committee's going to find reasons to start dropping a Cincinnati.
Sure.
So
sure they are.
Next game, OU was favored by 38 at Kansas. They are shut out in the first half. And then this play, you guys probably saw it, this play by Caleb Williams, the quarterback, to get a key first down late in the fourth, where he strips his own running back of the ball because he's getting tackled behind the line. The running back is facing the line of scrimmage. He's got a couple linebackers, a couple DBs, whatever, got him wrapped up. Caleb Williams goes in, rips the ball from his own running back, who he just gave the ball to, and takes off and gets 5 yards and a key first down. That was a third down, would have brought up a fourth. And
Right.
a lot of people, obviously are up in arms that it wasn't legal, but technically it's not a fumble, it's not a lateral because he went in and took the ball. My only point of contention was that I thought forward progress had been stopped prior, but looking at it in slow-mo, you don't know when the whistle would have come in. So dicey play there.
There was no whistle. There was no whistle, so it did work, and it was legal, because it was behind the line. He wouldn't have been able, if the ball carrier would have been past the line of scrimmage, he would not have been able to take it and go forward.
Right.
But since
I thought that was so heads up and gamey, I was like, that was ridiculous. That was an awesome play.
It is.
Man,
it is. A great play.
Way to be heads up.
Yeah.
But they needed that to get past Kansas.
Exactly. Kansas, they're favored. They're favored by 38 at Kansas.
Yes. The 38-point spread. That's not a. Hey, we need a real headsy play by a freshman QB late in the game to pull this one out.
Yeah. So let's go quickly on Bama. They pulled away late, put up 52. So it was a little bit more of a ball game than Saban probably wanted, but. They end up getting in gear. Middle of the fourth, it was pretty much a blowout at that point over Tennessee. Northwestern Michigan. Michigan still can't throw the ball over 8 yards down the field. So they dominate and blow out, do what they do,
You said
that was 10-7.
Yeah.
It was 10-7 at the half.
Right.
And there was a couple bad calls that possibly could have Michigan. I don't know, was the first play coming out of the half when Michigan got the ball, and I think that might have been a turnover. Northwestern would have had
on the kickoff.
Inside the 20. Yeah, I think it was on the kickoff. Inside the 20. I mean, it's ifs and buts, but I don't know. I watched most of that game.
Me too.
And I feel like Northwestern was getting jobbed on some calls on that, but whatever. And then it got away from them.
Yeah,
Northwestern fought hard for a while. They just don't got the dudes.
No, especially on offense. That one running back went 75, but that was the one highlight of the game for Northwestern.
Yeah,
that was it. So let's quickly go through these games in about 5 minutes. This coming week, Michigan at Sparty. We'll start right there since we just finished up with Michigan. Right now, I got Michigan at 3.5-point favorite at Sparty, and over/under of 50.5. This is a first ever in the history of these two schools. First ever time they're meeting at 7-0. So some history being made here.
it's big. It's big.
First time ever, both teams.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited. Everybody's on their team. Everyone's a little bit scared. Michigan fans are scared. Sparty fans are scared.
Oh, I wish I was where you are, Shawn. I wish I could revel in that shit. A bunch of shaking Michigan fans.
Cautiously optimistic, as you would say. I think it's going to be a good game between two mediocre teams that have managed to have 7-0 records. It could go either way, frankly.
It's going to be a slugfest, man. It's going to be Michigan Harbaugh trying to play 1982, run it down your throat, Bo Schembechler style football. It's going to be Mel Tucker trying to do the same with Walker. I'm not sure that over/under belongs anywhere north of 30, honestly.
What is it? What'd you say?
50.5, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go under for that. No problem. I'll heavy lean under.
Yeah, it's not a 26-25 game or 24-27 game or something like that.
I think first team to 24 wins. You get 24, you can count your chickens.
Yeah. So that's going to be a tight one. A lot of puckered assholes up north.
Oh yeah.
Not you, Shawn.
What time's that game, Joe?
What
time that game starts?
That should be a nooner.
That's the nooner.
Yep.
Hey, nooner leading in. Wonder what we got for the 3:30 leading into us. That's a good kickoff though. That's a good little nooner wake up, get your head smashed.
You got Georgia, Florida. No other Big Ten games.
Georgia, Florida, 3:30. That's all right. That's not bad.
Oklahoma,
though.
Texas Tech.
Not a bad.
Fill up a Saturday.
Yeah. Oklahoma, Texas
There
Tech.
you go.
Never know when Oklahoma's going to lay a fucking egg.
I think I'll be over at Newland's house noon.
Well, let's get through the rest of these games. Iowa +3 at Wisconsin, over under of 37. See, there you go, over under that makes sense.
Who cares about that game?
Oh, I don't.
Iowa probably loses again.
Iowa at Whiskey.
Yep.
Ooh, I was favored by 3 at Whiskey.
No, they're Whiskey's favored by 3. I was getting 3.
Wow. I'll take Iowa with the points, and I think Iowa's the better team. Give me points on the road.
Yeah.
I'll take Iowa, and Iowa could win it outright.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa forces 3 or 4 turnovers. Wisconsin has no offense.
No. Well,
they're going to play. They're home, and their defense is good.
have you watched Iowa?
I mean, you wouldn't.
Well, no, but Iowa's defense will force turnovers. If you make bad decisions on offense, Iowa can turn you over. They've proven that.
Yeah.
They're going to do that to Wisconsin. I think. I take Iowa with the points.
What were you saying, Shawn?
Comfortably.
I'm saying you wouldn't catch me watching that game.
No.
I mean, that's two anemic offenses. Good. I'm gonna catch the 30 seconds of highlights that fucking game gives me and check the score.
Guess what? The condensed version is like 2.5 minutes.
There might be a total of 48 seconds of excitement.
Right.
I'll have that on the DVR if I need it, but just in case, just in case I need to watch.
So we got Georgia at Florida. Georgia favored by 14. Obviously, this is in Jacksonville. Yes. Cocktail party.
Georgia by 20.
Over under though, interesting is 50. Not sure how I feel about that.
Because even if Georgia dominates, Georgia will beat them 24-0.
Right.
You know what I mean? Georgia will have to score on defense and have some weird shit happen to get into that 50-60 range. They just don't have the offense. I'll take the over though. I'll take the over in that game.
Yeah.
Florida finds a way to score on Georgia.
Yeah. How do you beat an AR-15?
Yeah, they will. I think you're going to see Georgia get tested. I still think Georgia right now is the best team in the country, but they're going to be tested, and there's potential they lay an egg. I mean, this is Georgia, for crying out loud. They lay an egg sometime.
Yeah, they're due.
So why not
they're
now?
due. Yep. Like I mentioned earlier, we got Texas Tech at OU, Oklahoma favored by 20, over under of 69er. I think I might take the over on that one. I don't care what you put it at.
Yeah.
Big 12 conference game.
You said Big 12, right? Yeah, Big 12, right? Yeah, I'll take over.
Yeah. So I don't know about the 20-point spread there. I think I might take Texas Tech with those points. The vaunted Alex Grinch defense, I assume, will show up and lay down.
And I couldn't even tell you Texas Tech's head coach. I don't know a damn thing about them.
Don't have to.
But I know their offense. I know they run the same damn offense no matter who's coaching.
Exactly.
And they're in the Big 12, so they're not going to play against a lot of defense. And I'm sure they don't play a lot themselves.
It's the Texas Tech defense.
All assumptions, but I think I'm right. Yeah. This is a Big 12 standard. Stamp it.
Yeah. So this one I wanted to bring out because of who it is, and they only have one loss. The Irish, they keep hanging around with their one loss. UNC at Notre Dame. Notre Dame only favored by 3.5 at the Dome.
UNC by 2 touchdowns.
Nice. I'm not sure Notre Dame has anything to do with the playoffs this year, but if some teams in the top 5 take a loss, Bama, Cincy, you could see a backdoor kind of situation, and you know how the Irish love a backdoor.
I could very well see them getting in with one loss. They're gonna need some help, I think, but completely doable. Take probably a Cincinnati loss to SMU.
Hey, one loss Oregon Pac-12 champ will get in before Notre Dame.
Probably. Yep.
I'm under.
You know what I mean? I would believe so.
Probably, but I don't think the odds of Oregon having one loss are that great.
No.
No, you're right, because I watched that UCLA Oregon game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to talk about that, Joe. I'll wait.
No.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
No, I didn't.
Notre Dame just lingers around. I don't think they have anything for anybody in the playoffs. They managed to win games, but they don't look good.
Yeah.
They don't look like a good football team to me. Like, they don't look like an elite team by any means.
UNC was supposed to be good. You'd figure
They're supposed to have
there somewhere. Yeah. Maybe they can.
Supposed to have a top 5 quarterback. They're supposed to have a top 5 draft pick and quarterback, but they're inconsistent. And Mac Brown, as soon as they lost a couple games, Mac Brown was like, "Well, who said we were supposed to be so good? You guys, you guys just come up with this on your own. I knew we didn't have a team to be ready yet. Like, whoa,
it's
easy, bro.
Fault.
Yeah, you did."
Yeah.
So they had all just like Iowa State. They had all the preseason hype, but you lose a couple games real quick, and it all falls away. But Sam Howell's a good quarterback.
Too.
I tell you what, Wake Forest Pitt showdown in that ACC championship.
Oh God,
Wake Forest and Pitt.
I won't be watching that.
There's your. Hey, well, how about an undefeated Wake Forest playing a one-loss Pitt for the ACC championship? Who's getting in out of that? Are we gonna get Kenny Pickett in the playoff?
Well, thanks.
Give me Kenny Pickett.
I'd rather fall down the stairs. So let's quickly give our college football playoff top 4 if the season ended today. Jeff, give me your top 4.
Season ended today. Top 4. You got to start with Georgia, obviously.
Okay.
But you go from Georgia. Cincinnati did not look like the number 2 team in the country. Oklahoma didn't look like the 3. It's the season right now. I don't know. I guess you got to go. Fuck it. You got to go Ohio State, Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, and but I'm not only comfortable with 2 of those teams. But the way it looks right now, you got to go those 4.
You're taking Bama out, huh?
Bama's out.
Okay. No problem. Shawn, what do you think? Who's your top 4?
I'll go Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Bama.
Okay.
If Bama was undefeated and Oklahoma was undefeated, same record, I'd take Bama, of course. Only Oklahoma because of the 0 in the loss column. I don't trust Oklahoma one bit.
No, why would you?
They're destined. I think they're destined to at least drop a game.
Yeah,
at least one. But they keep fucking winning these bullshit games. 38.5 spread. And they're winning by what, 9? Yeah. I mean, but and they're 7-0, man. I mean, winning ugly, you're still winning.
Sure.
You're undefeated. You're undefeated. Well, there was a lot of years we were undefeated 7-0, and when I was worried, like, we're not a 7-0 team.
Yeah.
2016 maybe I was like, I don't know if we were a 7-0 team, but we're 7-0.
Right. Well, I'm going similar to Shawn, but I got 2 teams flip-flop here on the back end. I'm going Georgia, Buckeyes, Bama, and Cincy. I'm going Bama ahead of Cincy only because of Cincy's last game there against Navy. Somewhat concerning on the defensive side of the ball. But I know that's Fickle's specialty, so ipso facto, I can't put Oklahoma anywhere near my top 4. So
I tell you what, if you put that top 4, you say you put Cincinnati and Ohio State in 2 and 3, however, flip flop, however you want to do it. But 2 and 3 matchup, Ohio State, Cincinnati in the playoffs, we're favored by 17.
Oh, yeah, easily. It could be worse than that. Yeah.
Right, 17-18 is the spread on that game.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm giving Cincinnati all kinds of credit, but if Cincinnati were in the Big Ten, they'd be a middle of the road team.
Oh yeah.
Well, you saw them fight. I mean, you saw them with Indiana. I don't know who else. Do they play in any other Big Ten schools this year? Purdue or
no?
I don't know. No, they didn't play anybody, right?
No.
They didn't play anybody else.
We played Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Notre Dame Notre Dame's Penn State. You know, I don't know. Notre Dame might be Iowa, but I think they're closer to Penn State.
They don't. Yeah.
But the thing is, you just have to have Cincinnati. Cincinnati just has to get up for that game. When you have to slog to Indiana, and then you got to go to Ann Arbor, and then you got to go to Happy Valley, and then Columbus is coming to town. That's a different ball game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
they got pros. They got a quarterback that's pro, and they got defensive guys that are pros.
Right.
That's why I think they are legit. I think they got guys that'll.
I'm a big fan of the quarterback, and
yeah, he's gonna play in the pros. I mean,
it's going to take a bunch of people losing. It'll be interesting after next week.
Yeah, the slate of games doesn't look amazing.
When the committee rankings come out, is that middle of the week or Tuesday, Wednesday?
It's usually a Tuesday.
The playoff rankings?
Like my Sundays too.
It's a Tuesday, in November.
The first Tuesday in November. Right?
I think so. So, all right.
That's also usually election night. But
good show, boys.
Yeah.
As always, folks, we appreciate you listening. Thank you to all of our fans. And don't forget that T-shirt giveaway is still going on Facebook. So check out the Buckeye Cast Facebook page and get entered and maybe get yourself a free shirt. Jeff, Shawn, appreciate you. Good show, boys. And another top flight week of football. We will see you next week.
All right, brother.
Later.